Howdy guys, this is On The Range. We are your hosts, Danny and Emma. We run Free Range Provisions. We're a small Western style apparel brand down here in Texas. So grab a drink, lay back, and welcome to our podcast. Alright, cool.
Sounds good. Yeah, bro.
We decided to make this podcast for you guys basically, and for you guys to understand our brand better, to understand us as people better. Like I said, we just started this brand not even 2 years ago. We're recording right now. It's probably like November 4th, and we're gonna try to launch this November 8th, which is our second anniversary of Free Range Provisions.
Second year?
The second year anniversary, yeah. This podcast is basically going to be a deeper
understanding of
exactly
our inspiration, things like
our
that,
inspiration, what drives us to make what we make, the gear that we make, in our tees.
Bringing knowledge of certain topics.
Yeah, just a deeper view of the brand itself.
I also, what I think this podcast would help, or at least what I think is going to bring, is more like interaction or more personality to the
exactly
brand.
To create a face for the brand.
Exactly.
So basically, if you didn't know, it's me and Danny. Right, we're co-owners of Free Range Provisions. We do everything from this room. You guys can't see, but on that side it's a mess. We have a table. We have all of our tools that we use, our paints, our frames, because we screen print here in house. All of our designs, all of our tees, everything we make in house. So basically, yeah, let's jump into the podcast. Or let's jump into the episode and see how this goes. Yeah. We might be a little new to this since this is our first episode. Literally, this is our first recording. Cut us some slack. But hopefully you guys find it entertaining. All right, so let's just jump in.
All right.
So the first episode, I wanted to kind of explain the Comancheros. Right. The Comanchero is basically a super brief summary of what the Comancheros were. They were a group of tradesmen or commercemen that traded with with Native Americans from, of course, back in the day. They were an ethnically mixed group of New Mexican merchants that were around they were around here in the late 18th century all the way to the mid to late 19th century. So they were here like quite a long while.
Yeah.
Right. So their place of origin. All right. So a little bit of background. So who are the Comancheros, or what is the Comanchero? So basically, not even a year ago, this April, we decided to launch our summer collection, our spring/summer collection, and we made our first button-up shirt, right? And we called it the Comanchero, right? And this episode we wanted to kind of explain why we called it the Comanchero, and this is why. So getting back to what I was saying. These were a group of tradesmen that traded with the Plains Native Americans back in the day. Like I said, it's in the 18th century and in the 19th century. All right. So they originated in New Mexico, right? But our research says that they were not just here from New Mexico. They were ethnically mixed. They were perhaps from South America or maybe even from Central America. All right.
So if I can interrupt you,
go ahead.
When was there, for lack of better words, their most popular years, like where they were most common?
Yeah. Like I I researched it, and it says that they were here in the 18th century, so that's literally the 1700s.
If you were to say right now, I don't know if you know about this.
Go ahead.
Are they still pretty common today? Or?
They're not. Like I'm gonna explain later. They basically died during, or not died, but like the action or of the Comanchero, the idea of the Comanchero died, back in the Civil War. Okay. But they did last a pretty long while. So, these people were a group of tradesmen that developed a very distinct form of trade with several different tribes of the Plains Native Americans, mainly the Comanche. Hence the name Comancheros, right? These were people that were brave enough to trade, right, with the Native Americans, and if you go back to stereotypes of that era or of those centuries, they were known to be savages,
hostile.
Or hostile. I don't know if you've seen the movie with Christian Bale.
Never.
Hostiles. It's a super cool movie.
What's the name of it?
Hostiles.
Oh, okay.
I think it is called Hostiles. I'm not completely sure. So yeah. Do you have anything to add to that?
Not really, man. A couple of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So basically, you said that they basically got introduced to them, the Native Americans?
No. So basically, they were at the moment. Spain was in charge of this land, which was then Mexico, which is now part of the United States, which is New Mexico, right? Yeah. But it was that piece of land. I'll put it up on the screen. Spain ruled over that. Spain decided to make a peace treaty with the Plains Native Americans, not Plains Indians anymore. Or should we just say Plains Indians? What do you think about that?
I mean, could be easier.
You want to just say Plains Indians?
Yeah.
All right, cool. We mean no disrespect.
Yeah.
Right. But with the Plains Indians, so the Spanish government made a peace treaty with the Plains Indians, and allowed the trade between the Comancheros and the Plains Indians, right? So the first group of Comancheros began in the year 1786, right? When and I mean, like, right here, I put it in my research, when several tribes signed a peace treaty with the Spanish government to enable trade, right? But this was back in 1786.
Yeah.
So quite a long time ago. So basically, the Comancheros each fall, they would harvest whatever goods they had, and they would load it up in their burros, right? And ox carts or carretas, with beads, calico, tobacco, coffee, sugar, kettles, and large butchering knives. They were called belduques. That's what I can read from here. Right, and ventured into the land, right? And in the beginning, and for quite some time, the trade between the Comancheros and the actual Plains Indians was very primal, very primitive. It was just a matter of chance. So basically, what the Comanches did, they would venture off into the land, which is right now New Mexico, and hopefully to find some Plains Indians to trade with.
So right now we saw that they basically mainly traded what? Beads, calico, tobacco. Yep. So who provided that?
The actual Comancheros, the people would harvest.
Because what you said right now was that Comancheros, they would venture to try to look for the. So what made them, or what did the Native Americans, what did they have that they wanted?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it was for money or for like you know how Native Americans are very good at harvesting leather.
Okay.
What did you say?
Handscraft.
Handscraft?
Handcraft.
Oh, like handcrafted things.
Yeah, handcrafted
things. No, I mean not necessarily. Everything was kind of handcrafted back then. You get me? There was there was really no like mass produced things. I'm sure there was, but not at the mass scale as we are right now. So what I was saying is that I'm not sure what the Native American Indians
had to offer,
right? But from my head, from top of my head, I know they were able to offer like pelts, right? You know what pelts are?
Nah.
Basically, it's animal skin.
Okay.
From all kinds of animals. Yeah. I know they harvested beaver. I know they harvested elk. They harvested moose. Depending on where they were located.
Yeah.
Right. I'm gonna open the ranch water.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They harvested moose.
They were able to kill moose.
Wow.
And
have you seen that video of a
Cheers.
moose running on water? Supposedly, I don't know if it was.
I haven't seen it.
Those things are crazy, bro.
They're huge.
I didn't know they're like the actual size until I think you showed me a video or you told me and I looked it up and
yeah. I remember when I saw the video. Maybe I showed it to you of the moose. It was they're recording a moose. Basically, the moose is on the street.
Oh, walking next to cars.
Next to a car, and the moose is like way bigger.
Because they're halfway.
Yeah. So what was I saying? Where was I? Oh yeah, what the Indians had to offer, right? And I'm sure that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So in a nutshell, this is how their operation went.
Yeah.
They would set off from their base. Probably, I think it was probably a base, right? And they would traverse the land in hopes to find a tribe or other men that belonged to the Plains tribes and that were also involved in trade, right? So I'm sure the Native Americans also had people to trade for them, right?
Yeah.
Because, excuse me, I know. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, you good.
I'll probably mute that. Because I know.
Talk to me.
I know they had a hierarchy, right? So they had warriors, they had harvesters, and I'm pretty sure they also had tradesmen. They also had tradesmen among their ranks. Right. So after many years of this primal and primitive commerce, in the early 1850s, the Comanchero continued evolving and improving their form of trading, right? In no time, probably like hundreds of years, because I know they lasted quite a while.
Yeah.
Maybe not even hundreds of years, maybe a few decades, right? They basically became cowboys, the Comancheros.
So at that time, cowboys were already a thing.
Yeah, they've been a thing for a really long time. Yeah.
So why were what differentiated them before that made them
exactly? So basically the Comancheros, they were first tradesmen. They were just and I know the tradesmen and the Comancheros, they only had about like $20 to $30 of provisions in their what I was saying is that they only had about $20 to $30 of provisions and gear at one point, right? I'm sure they traded like meats and like gear to use, right? All right, so basically in a nutshell, this is how their operation went, right? So the Comancheros would set off from their base and would travel the land in hopes of finding a tribe or other men that belonged to the Plains tribes that were involved in the trade or commerce.
Yeah.
Right? So after many years of this primal and primitive commerce that started basically in the 1850s, the Comanchero evolved and continued improving their form of trade.
Yeah.
And in no time, they basically became what we know as cowboys, right? Comanchero cowboys.
So at that time, there were cowboys then.
Yeah,
right?
they were.
So what differentiated them between?
So yeah, basically, a cowboy had his own ranch and his own cattle, and what Comanchero did, they would steal the cattle and sell it, right? So it basically had 100% profit, which is always good in business. They not only traded cattle and sold cattle, they also traded and sold firearms.
Okay.
Right. You don't think it would be cool to have like a firearm here of those times? That'd be badass, right?
How tough do you think they are to find?
How tough? I'm pretty sure they're not that tough, right? Because Google can. I mean, you can just Google it real quick, right? What I think would be the cutoff is the problem is the price, right? I haven't really like searched up anything, right? But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty expensive.
Yeah.
They traded ammunition and sold ammunition. Yep. They traded and sold alcohol, which is always a quintessential part of our society, right? Cheers to Lone River Ranch and Ranch Waters.
Best ranch water in the biz.
The best ranch waters. And they also sold other professionally manufactured products that were available at the time. So, Danny,
talk to me.
They basically went from trading in a very primitive way
to stealing.
No, I mean they kind of always stole, right? But what I kind of want to get to is that they went from trading and selling at a very primitive way and very low in numbers to having a whole system in place, right? Maybe it wasn't very ethical, but it was effective.
It was working, yeah.
And it was working. So as the decades passed and the Comanchero actually started to dwindle, right? They started to dwindle because the United States at that time was already what do you call it? Was already like gaining the territories that we know right now, and of course they started. It's New Mexico now. So they made the Comanchero trade illegal.
Okay.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, you needed legal documentation,
ownership titles, stuff like that.
Yeah, to trade and to do commerce at the time, like we do now.
But what was I guess the primary reason for that was to lower theft or
just for legal purposes and taxes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Of course, right?
Uncle Sam.
Of course, Uncle Sam's always wants his cut.
Piece of the pie.
But of course, the Comanchero trade always stayed pretty relevant, because officers in charge of putting down overseeing and shutting down the Comanchero trade were actually involved secretly, right?
Oh, okay.
In the Comanchero trade, right? They could get ammunition, they could get firearms for on the cheap.
Yeah.
And they could get cattle on the cheap. Who doesn't want a cheap cow?
True.
I want a cheap cow. Yeah. So the Comanchero trade actually never died.
That's actually interesting. Sorry. It's a little off topic.
Yeah, go ahead.
Basically, in one of my courses, I'm taking is sustainability for companies, and we're looking into Starbucks in China, and basically we're looking into the year 2016, and bribing and gifting was actually a very prominent thing. I'm pretty sure it still is right now, and no matter how much their government restricted, what's it called? What's the word for it?
Like made laws to make it illegal.
Laws, regulations, stuff like that.
The bribing and stuff like that.
It's still very, very common.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop it. We could see it was one of the biggest problems because, like you said, taxes, it disrupts a lot of things.
Of course.
But yeah, and that's even like you could see how much it affects things in general because we're looking at it right here, and in the past for Comancheros,
of course,
and it's still happening across the world.
It's still happening. So yeah, the corruption's never really gonna stop, right? But that's just how the world turns. So, little backstory, just in case you didn't know. Me and Danny, we are still in college, right? We are college students. We decided to make free range right after high school, right? I was 19. I'm currently 21, so it's been about 2 years, and he was like 20.
We hit the 2-year mark in 4 days.
Hopefully this goes out by the 8th, which is our second anniversary of free range provisions. So Danny's actually gonna be 22 in a few days. So basically he was 20 when we started.
I was thinking about it the other day, looking back, and it's crazy to see the difference of what we were
of what the initial idea of free range.
Yeah, exactly.
What we wanted it to
I think one of the first ideas we had was selling
like selling animal.
game.
And we quickly realized that wasn't gonna be it is probably gonna be possible, and it will probably be possible maybe in another business venture, but like there's a lot of regulation and a lot of laws. We were little kids, basically. I mean, we still are pretty young, but we were even littler.
Yeah, when younger. When we were looking into it, we saw how
difficult it was.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love the idea right away because it's like, let's get our hands dirty, let's go out and go on the hunt. And then we saw the sizes of the fridges we have to buy, the prices,
super expensive,
everything, man. It was crazy.
But the name was always there.
Idea, I think the idea in general.
Yeah, the idea was always there. The name, we always called it Free Range Provisions. I came up with that name. But basically, free range is always going to be free range. If you go on our TikTok, whatever is in our TikTok at the top is what we're interested in at the moment. You're always seeing like a deep dive into what we like at the moment and what is inspiring us at the moment. So basically,
it can change. I'm not gonna say drastically. It can change time to time, but it still has like, I guess, the same foundation.
The same foundation that is free range. So I was gonna say something, you took it out of my mind.
My bad.
Yeah, you're good.
We were on the topic of bribery.
And we're past that already. Just off topic real quick, how do you guys like our set? Right, this is brand new set. We just bought this vintage table from a lady. We went for it. And we got some photographs of what we're in the mood for right now. I'll put some pictures, some high quality pictures there in the screen for you guys to look of the actual frames for you guys to look at better. Just in case you are interested, right? Over there at the top left of your screen is a advertisement for Abercrombie and Fitch Co. Right? I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but back in the day, Abercrombie and Fitch were a sporting goods store, right?
That was news to
they
me,
were crazy.
Honestly. Yeah.
People like the author Ernest Hemingway and people like the president Theodore Roosevelt, they used Abercrombie, and basically for us it's a huge icon. Yeah, it's a shame that they started after the 2000s. They started making business with ideas that we don't really like subscribe to.
I wouldn't say a shame. It's just, I mean, they went a different route from.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen the documentary that I'm referencing this to. They were kind of at a point. They were kind of like being racist.
Oh, okay. I've heard. Yeah, I've heard. Never mind. Yeah.
And of course, we don't subscribe to that. So Abercrombie, back in the day, back in the 1800s, it was an icon. So that's why I'm saying it's a shame of what they've become, and they couldn't really get a foot back on the business side. I'm sure I know Abercrombie's still a thing, but honestly,
I can't
don't
remember
know.
the last time I stepped middle school.
Yeah,
at most.
Me like elementary. So
You
below
loved Abercrombie, bro.
I love the Abercrombie. Below the Abercrombie advertisement, there is an advertisement. The biggest frame in our set of frames is a horse. We are in love with the equestrian animal, which is a horse. We love the majestic look and feel of a horse. And we love watching the Kentucky Derby and the horse races. So yeah, we thought it'd be a nice addition to our studio. Right here I'm pointing at a sailing picture. These are all topics that we're in love with and what we love to do. It's basically a picture of a sailboat, right, with a girl in it. It looks cool. I thought it was a nice addition to the studio. Next to that picture is Josie Wales, and we'll talk about Josie Wales right now. It's actually Clint Eastwood, in the character of Josie Wales, and that is where I first heard the name Comanchero. I'll explain it right now.
It was
What's up?
A movie?
It is a movie. Outlaw Josie Wales. Yeah.
When did you watch it?
I watched it when I was a little kid.
Really?
Yeah, I was tiny. But basically, I watched it maybe a year ago, right? And,
okay. And that's where you got the inspiration.
That's where I got the inspiration for Comanchero. Yeah. And on top of that, I'll put it up. Right, like I said, I'll put it up. Is a picture of a cowboy that inspired me to draw the actual Comanchero. We have a T-shirt design. We have a piece of gear that has the Comanchero drawing on it.
Which one?
The Comanchero.
The button up or
no, not the button up. The T.
Oh, okay.
And I'll put it up there. Hopefully, the drawing is cool, right? It has inspiration of that cowboy and Josie Wales. I think it's pretty cool. So that's about it. And on our frames for the studio.
For now, or are you thinking in general?
What I'm thinking of, we should change it once in a while.
Okay.
I don't know if we're gonna do seasons or how many episodes. We might change it every season or every, and we'll explain to you guys.
The meaning.
Yeah, and maybe we'll do full episodes if you guys are interested. We'll make full episodes of what the photographs mean. And the gear around it. The lasso that you see to the left of your screen, that was actually a gift from my uncle. He was a ranch hand back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. He is older now, but he gifted it to me last time I was over there in North Houston.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
North Texas, my bad. Which is, well, yeah, in East Texas, I guess. So he gifted it to me because he knows that I love Western style gear and the idea of the Western cowboy, and he gifted it to me and not to his sons. So that says something.
But are they into it, or they're more city?
They like it, but they were raised in Houston, and so you guys know that Houston is a big city and it's a city life. So they are influenced by the city life.
Yeah.
There's next to it there is a horseshoe. That horseshoe, I found it in one of my uncle's ranches.
The same uncle, or
not the same uncle?
Okay.
But we are family members, right?
Yeah.
They're all family members. And I just kind of found it on the floor, and it was dug up in the ground, and I just picked it up, and I was like, it'll be a nice addition to my collection of random things. but I saw it in my room, and I was like, I'm gonna put it in the studio. Yeah. And that cowboy hat. It is a Stetson. It is my first straw hat. My sister-in-law gifted it to me for my birthday. And I thought it would be a good addition to the studio. It looks cool, right?
Have you? Oh, right now we're in fall, so people are wearing
the felt hats.
The felt hats.
Yeah.
Right? Have you used it recently? Or not?
I didn't really use it this season because I had like the long hair.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And I didn't really like how it looked with the long hair, but now I have the short hair, and I don't know, I might use it.
Yeah.
When spring
nice.
comes around.
I've been not so much a hat, but boots, man. I want to get some new boots.
Oh yeah, dude. I recommend some Tacovas. Tacovas if you guys want to sponsor us.
Easy. Have you seen the ones I've been sending you or no?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, those are pretty cool.
You like them? Or
yeah,
no?
I like them, but like how I said, remember I told you that I'm not really into the square toe anymore. I'm more.
You're more. Oh yeah, you think it's more like
the round
right?
the round toe. Not necessarily sophisticated. It's just kind of more traditional. The round toe.
Really?
Yeah, it is. What do you guys think? Do you guys think the square toe or the
round?
The round toe is better. Or what do you guys prefer? So basically that's our studio right now. Like I said before, there's a huge mess behind the camera. It's full of like tools and boxes that we ship from. Basically a studio. There's actually there's also a ping pong table. Because we used to play ping pong in this room.
Yep.
So yeah, let's get back to the topic.
Sounds good.
So getting back to the topic. The Comancheros were they kind of died off during the Civil War era, right? But after the Civil War, they still kind of like they kind of stayed relevant just because the idea of the Comanchero was pretty cool. So there's a bunch of like pop culture references to the Comancheros. So mainly they were famous in the 60s and 70s, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Wayne made a movie called The Comancheros.
Yeah.
Right. It is a pretty cool movie. I recommend it. I did watch it. But my favorite is The Outlaw Josie Wells, right? Which is where I got the inspiration for Comanchero. I'll put a clip here on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And that's the first time I heard the word Comanchero, right? It was in the movie Josie Wells, where he goes in with a box full of whiskey after like a badass fight, and he barges into the door, and he says something like "straight from Comanchero brand," insinuating the trade between the Plains Native Americans and the tradesmen, like or Comancheros, because that was the movie sets time, or the movie takes place around those times.
Yeah. Quick little, just really weird question.
Go ahead.
Not weird. Do you remember? You remember that movie from when you were younger?
Yeah.
And you retouched it, and then you got the word Comanchero, or you were okay.
The second time I actually like paid attention to it, and it's a badass movie. Yeah. Y'all should watch it. So what is the outreach of the Comanchero to this day? All right. So aside from being a badass tradesman and wranglers, right? The Comanchero, so basically right now the only people that have the word Comanchero they're basically a random Australian biker gang.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really do too much research into them. I'm not really into biker gangs.
What do you mean? The people with the name Comanchero? Like,
yeah, like who holds the name Comanchero right now?
So you mean that as in legally or
not legally per se? I don't know if you register biker gang names. Do you like?
I don't think so.
The Hell's Angels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm not sure they do.
Unless they're gonna make merch, but
yeah.
What I was getting at is like when you search up the Comancheros, that's who comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically what comes out is the history of the Comancheros and also the Australian bike gang. Yeah. So I'm not really into like biker gangs stuff like that. So I didn't really make research into them.
I think it's interesting.
So Back in April of this year of 2022, I decided to make a piece of gear inspired by the Comancheros, right? Because we like to make connections to our culture and to our heritage here in Texas and this part of the southwestern United States. I don't know if Texas is part of that southwestern United States, but it is Texas, and it holds many aspects of the same like heritage and culture.
Yeah, bro. How do you feel?
So we're getting towards the end of our podcast. And like I said, this podcast is basically gonna be like an extension of Free Range Provision, or what the Free Range Provisions brand is, for you guys to get a deeper sense of who we are and who we are as people and as business partners and as a new business, right? Because we are new at this.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you have any last words you want to say?
No, really. Just how do you feel
about what?
The podcast.
I liked it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right. I know it takes some time to get used to. But this is barely our first episode, 001. And hopefully we have a lot.
What do you?
For you guys.
I don't know if we mentioned it in the beginning. I guess I think we did. We were basically talking about how, like, what do we want from this podcast?
Yeah,
we touched on that.
So if you want to retouch that subject, it's just kind of like for them to see an extension of us, right? Yeah. Of the brand, of what we're into at the time. We are gonna try to make one weekly, right?
Okay, yeah.
We don't exactly know when we're gonna post or when we're gonna upload. I need to research that. What day would be better for us, because we do have pretty busy schedules, and so basically hopefully we have a lot more for you guys, and so yeah, that's how I feel about the podcast.
That's good.
Yeah. So follow us on all the platforms, right? We have Instagram, we have TikTok, and we have YouTube. We have a bunch of like content on all those platforms, right? At Free Range Provisions, right? It's all one word. We post daily content there for you guys to understand who our brand is, and hopefully you like it. So thank you for joining us on our very first episode.
We appreciate it.
Hopefully you stay and follow us through our journey of the podcast and the business. Because we are still new at this. We are a 2-year-old business, which is fairly a baby still, right? And we're still like learning the ropes of how to do business and how to do this podcast. Hopefully it goes good. So for the people who stayed here and listened to it all, or listen to the end part of it, we want to give you a discount. Okay. As a thank you for listening to our first podcast. Hopefully you guys liked it. So the discount, I'll put it up in the screen. It's gonna be OTR 50. OTR 50, right? So basically means the range 50.
OTR 50.
OTR 50. I'll put it up on the screen, and that'll basically give you a 50% off. Right, that's super good. A sweet discount on our on whatever you buy on our website.
Yep.
All right, so we are about to sign off here. Again, follow us on the socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and please visit our website at freerangepc.com. All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.